Good morning. Happy Sunday. I'm Greg, and welcome to the Daily Bible Wrap-Up. It is Sunday, November 12th, 2023. I'm glad you're with me today. Before diving into today's readings, I have an invitation. If you're in technology, or cybersecurity, and you have an interesting faith journey, I'd like to talk to you about it. Just drop me an email at greg.schaefer@secondchancebook.org. Today's readings are Proverbs 27:15 through 22, Hebrews 11:1 through 16, and Ezekiel 22:23 through 23. Now, from the Proverbs reading, I'm going to read to you verse 17. You've heard this one before, most likely. As iron sharpens iron, so a friend sharpens a friend. Now, a true friend is one who wants you to grow and succeed. This includes being a true friend in Christ. They want you to succeed in your faith. True friend will support you in your endeavors and intervene when they believe you are going off track. Now, I'm not talking about intervening out of jealousy. I mean a true intervention to help regain the path of restoration. Now, I tend to be defensive. I think that that's common among a lot of us. But if a believer, a true friend in Christ, calls me out on some behavior, it's in my best interest to listen to them. Just as God is not only feel-good love, but discipline love, so should the love be for our brothers and sisters in Christ. Iron sharpens iron. New Testament, we're in Hebrews 11, verse 1. Quote, faith shows the reality of what we hope for. It is the evidence of things we cannot see. Excuse me. Now, those looking for evidence before faith will find neither, in my opinion. Quote, verse 3, by faith, we understand the entire universe was formed out of God's command, that what we see did not come from anything that can be seen. Doesn't that sound a little bit like the Big Bang Theory? Big bang of something out of nothing that could be seen. The author then gives several other examples of faith. Abel's more acceptable offering to Cain, for example. Enoch's ascension to heaven without dying. Quote in verse 5, therefore, before he was taken up, he was known as a person who pleased God, and it is impossible to please God without faith. Then Noah's faith to build the ark. Then Abraham, who, quote verse 10, was confidently looking forward to a city with eternal foundations, a city designed and built by God. Then Sarah's faith that she would conceive. Now, all of these believed that they were foreigners here on earth and that their true home was elsewhere. Old Testament, we pick up the story in Ezekiel 22. It's another message that the princesses plot conspiracies and the priests make no distinction between what is holy and what is not. This is the charge. The leaders are all like wolves, and the prophets cover up for them. No one would, quote verse 36, rebuild the wall of righteousness that guards the land, end quote. So the Lord will, quote, heap on their heads a full penalty for all their sins. Kind of same message repeated again. A lot of times repetition helps to get the message in. Thickhead sometimes, like with me. Ezekiel 23 is the parable of two sisters, Oholah and Oholibah. Oholah and Oholibah. I think that's right. They're two sisters. They're both quite promiscuous. They represent Samaria and Jerusalem, and the Lord married them. Then Oholah, Samaria, lusted after other lovers, and even though Oholibah saw the resulting punishment, she, and she's representing Jerusalem, followed the same path. This is what the chapter's about. Eventually, the Lord rejected her as well. I think the chapter is a representation of what we've talked about before, trying to understand the character of God in our limited human terms. So one of the more powerful ways that God reveals his character is through the analogy of unfaithfulness, promiscuity. cheating. By removing protection, handing Oholibah over to her enemies, he, quote, verse 27, will put a stop to the lewdness and prostitution that you brought from Egypt. That's the whole point of what he's trying to do. This judgment will serve to, quote, verse 48, be a warning to all women, or in this case, I think it means to all nations, not to follow your example. And that's it for today. It was a short one. I would like to repeat, though, that if you have an interesting story that you might want to share with others as far as how your faith, your walking with Christ, impacts, affects, motivates, however, within the cyber community, I'd like to chat with you. Thinking about a different project, not really sure yet, but it all starts with just talking with people. You can reach me at greg.schaefer@secondchancebook.org if you're interested, or if you just want to say hey. That's it for today. Until tomorrow, my prayer for you is that you walk by the Spirit, and we'll pick it up again tomorrow. Take care.